Okay, we're continuing with this book here, The Best of the West in Art, Music, Movies, and Books by me, Pete Rogers. We're on about page 402. We're going through the paintings of the 1800s, part 4 of paintings from the 1800s. I got a bunch of them. It's the greatest era of painting ever in the history of the world. Okay, so here's a painting, Christmas Morning by Jan Steen. It's just beautiful. You totally catch, the family and the kids running around with the toys. Mama's engaging with the kids, the older siblings too. Papa's just kicking back. He paid for everything, and he's happy to see that they're happy. Okay, that's how it kind of works. From 1665. Now here's a lovely painting by James Tissot. He's sort of French and English, and just happy family. They're happy just to be together. It's beautiful. That's how family is. And, their clothing matches with the flowers in the background in their backyard. It's just beautiful. That's from 1882. And here's a painting called The Village School by Jan Steen. And that's the good way for schools to be. All the different ages in the same room. Because then, the older ones help the younger ones, and kids have some independence. That's good. This modern public schools, all the kids the same age are stupid, okay? The assignment comes from some centralized, faraway place, teaching you to disrespect your parents, become an atheist. Stupid. So anyways, it's a fun picture. Jan Steen, The Village School from 1672. Okay, the next painting here is School's Out. School's Out for Summer. This one by George Waldemüller, 1841. The happy faces of the kids. It's summertime. Okay, the next painting here is Girls at the Piano by Renoir, 1892. And this totally reminds me of my girlfriend. When I was in high school, I went with her for like 9.5 years. Okay, she's a musician from Juilliard, piano player, magnificent. And it's a great hobby for somebody to play music, because when you play piano, you learn not just piano, you learn the history of music. You learn the history of Europe. And that's a good thing to have in your mind's eye, This was the Scholastic phase. This was the early Renaissance, the High Renaissance, the Reformation, the Counter-Reformation, the Baroque era, the so-called Enlightenment, then the Victorian Renaissance, the Belle Epoque. I mean, it's good to kind of get all that, and you'll get that from the music, kind of takes you into the literature, takes you into the history, and then you've got some historical perspective, which is valuable to have. And anyways, it's a great thing. Okay, here's a family playing music together, a great thing for a family. The family that prays together stays together, and if they make music together, that also helps. A Christmas Carol at Brackendine by Arthur Hughes, 1879. Okay? And this is how families used to be before birth control pills in the 1960s. People routinely have about 10 children. So all the kids would get all this social experience from hanging around with each other, helping each other. They'd have a built-in extended family. That's a good thing to have. Okay, next one is At the Blacksmith by George Waldemüller. Okay, so, here's the guys making the horseshoes and doing the other stuff they do. Here's a painting called, how did this one? This one got moved a little bit. That's not supposed to happen. This is The Country School by Edward Lamson Henry. Okay, nice picture of the country school. Again, in this one, the kids all look about the same age. It's from 1890. Here's another painting called Nearing the Bend in the River. This one also by Henry Lamson. He's a real good painter. Again, this is another one I probably would have been better off if I had it vertically on the page. You could tip it, but, it's a beautiful painting. Lamson was a great painter. Nearing the Bend in the River. Beautiful. Another ship coming the other way, but I think they got plenty of room. Okay, here's another one. Again, I wish I had this one magnified more. I had about the biggest pages of a book I could get, but I still should have turned it sideways. The First Railroad Train by Edward Lamson, 1905. Those were a big deal in those days. Here's the train station, 945 accommodation, again by Edward Lamson. And here is work, pretty famous painting by Ford Madox Brown. I think that's Thomas Carlyle in the picture there. He's the guy who said there's always a good reason, then there's a real reason. Okay. Men at Work. Okay, now we're getting out into some farming paintings. The Gleaners, a couple of young ladies gleaning out in the fields. Beautiful view in the background there. Here's the old man, driving the oxen, peasant farmer. Eugene Bernard, 1894 painting. Here's Plowing the Fields by Eugene Bernard, 1960. So real nice farming paintings, beautiful landscape in the background there. Okay, now here's a sad one, but it's worth seeing. It's a beautiful painting, but very sad. So A Boy at His Mother's Grave. Okay, this is by Uros Predic, Syria, Yugoslavia artist from 1888. And that's how I felt when my mother died. When my mother died, I cried like every day for a year and a half. And I kept listening to the same songs. Thelma Houston, Don't Leave Me This Way. Ozzy Osbourne, I'm Going Through Changes. Okay, and Autumn Leaves from Edith Piaf. It was so sad, but it's a beautiful painting. My mom was like the best person I ever met in my whole life. She should really be nominated to be a saint. Okay. She did everything right that a person could do. And she didn't care about the rules. She was constantly breaking rules, going against convention, always making jokes, always doing what was right for the people involved. And that's talking about living by the letter of the law of the Spirit of Christ. She did it 100%. So anyways, that's how I felt.